All right, yogis. So we're going to start right on our mat here today. And, it's yoga core. So again, a nice hybrid class. As always, listen to your body, add things in if you need, change it up, okay, as we go. Let's start right in tabletop with the cat-cow. Can't think of a better core exercise for just kind of light warm-up. The inhale arches the back, and the exhale rounds the spine. Okay, so you are actively arching. Start light, right? Exhale rounds. So this actions are called flexion. As we round the spine, it's called flexion of the spine. So the front of your spinal joints shorten. And as you inhale, arch your back, it's called spinal extension, your opposite action. So think about just moving those spinal joints. And if you'd like here, guys, you can start what's called a power breath, the Bhastrika, breath of fire. It's a quicker, pulsing inhale and exhale in and out the nose as you cat-cow. It looks and sounds like this. So taking that cat-cow a little faster. Last few. So again, I encouraged a few cat-cows slower, and then I encourage you to pick up the pace of your breath. So it's called Bhastrika in Sanskrit, or breath of fire. And you are speeding up cat-cow. Cat-cow does not always need to be done slow, all right? And if you have always done it slow, I'm picking a day here this week to kind of speed it up. We did it on, I believe, Saturday, where we're kind of pulsing in that cat-cow, moving a little faster. It feels super good some days to do that fast. All right, so last few moments here. So that's to wake up your pelvic tilt and your spine, right? Now we go to the major joints, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. Classic kind of subtle warm up here. We'll meet in tabletop. Inhale, right leg, left arm. Pull the belly in. Engage the right thigh. Exhale it down. Inhale the opposite arm and leg. Take your time. Pause, contract, feel. Down. And again, you start with a couple slower, pausing, and then you speed it up a tiny bit. So this one's really for like the glute maximus and like the shoulder, the delt, quad, hamstring. Even if you're pointing that toe strong or flexing it, you're going to get that calf and ankle a little bit more. All right? Shouldn't be too strenuous, right? It's not easy, but it's not difficult either. Let's keep it going. A warm-up stretch for the side body. Now I'm going to go dynamic here. You can hold wherever you'd like, as always. I'm in tabletop position. My hands walk over to the right. My left arm reaches away from my left hip, and my hips descend back and down for a moment. You take a big breath into your left side, ribs, underarm. You lift a little. You walk back through center. I walk over to the left. My right hand reaches further over to the left. I descend my hips back to the right a little bit. And then you do that, 2 to 3 times each side. You should feel a big stretch. So if you walk your hands to the right, you feel a stretch on your left side body, all right? It's a big lateral movement. You don't have to go far. Remember that warm-ups are more for, creating heat, getting blood flow through spaces, activating to wake up, not peak strength or flexibility. All right, so, take your time. I'm gonna keep moving. We're gonna come right to plank pose today. So we're gonna do this little, they call them mountain climbers in fitness, but it is a really nice way to do this here. So we're gonna come to high plank. If you need to do forearm plank, you can do them on blocks. So tuck your toes, okay? You're in high plank.
Now just bring your right knee to your right elbow and then shoot your right foot back, put it down. Left knee, left elbow. So it's like that's, you know how we usually do the extending of the arm and the rounding under? It's kind of like that second part of this. Right knee to right elbow, put the right foot back. Left knee to left elbow, put the left foot back in your plank. So
you start slower, right? So just in case, right, we're here. If you want more, you can do the full mountain climber. It looks like this. See how I'm starting to really almost run in place, pumping those knees, building heat, blood flow. Last few. You know, again, yoga is too slow often. You gotta speed it up, guys. Move your body fast sometimes, all right? Downward facing dog is next. Lift the hips up and back. Let's pedal our feet out a little bit, please.
And you can keep going, right? With the mountain climbers, as long as you need. Push yourself, especially if you're having a good day, please. So we're in that first down dog. Get into the feet a little bit extra. You know, particularly the big toe, you want to take it slow too. If you ever have pain around the big toe, you know, extra caution, just don't just jam, you know, into flexibility around the big toe joint. You know, take it slow and, you know, shake the foot out, roll the ankle. You know, you're in a space right now where you can move in ways that feel good for your body this morning. Last few breaths now, trying to let the head hang low, lifting the sit bones up and back. Breathing deep in the nose. Try to feel the breath, like as it goes right up into the nose, you can kind of feel it, you know, energize the eyes. See if you can notice that. And then also like the front of the brain, you know, the nasal, you know, energetically, you know, there's got to be thousands of energies that we can't detect with our science yet, right? So as we breathe in the air, you can feel it kind of light up the eyes, the bridge of the nose, and even the front of the forehead. Because the nasals like point right up to that area, right? So you could feel that energy along with the oxygen in the air. Yogis call it prana. And there's many types of prana in yoga, types of energies, the life force energies. All right, nice job there, yogis.
I do want to do one nice twisting movement. All right, so we'll bring it down to the knees. I'm going to go full range here today. The right arm under the left. Exhale, inhale from your core. So try to turn from your abdomen, please. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Continue. Yeah, take it slow. I just demonstrate quickly so you're not looking up at the screen the whole time.
But if you know it, you go right for it. You don't even need to look at the screen. And if you want to do another big spinal rotator, feel free. I'm doing this one because it's also a nice one for your arms. It's the pec major and the back muscles. I'm not going to have you hold. You can hold if you want. And a warm up for a strong class, you know, holding a lot of passive postures might not be the best idea, right? So we'll come back and do our second side. Left arm exhales underneath right armpit, and then you inhale from your core, turn up open to the left. And the head can kind of follow the arm, but don't jam the neck through spaces, yogis. You see that too much in yoga. Triangles, half moons. We're kind of like forcing our neck into spaces. Be easy on your neck. So it shouldn't be too strenuous, right? It's just more like, remember that range of motion training is very different from strength training. So we're a little bit more in like range or, like I said, warm up. You know, it's not supposed to be too difficult because then your body tenses and you don't really build too much range. Okay, you're not opening spaces.
All right, guys. So I do want to do a round of just straight push-ups. And if you're working on them, you go here, right? And you bend the elbows a little bit and you straighten. So someone who's new, you go like this. Someone who's getting stronger, here. Someone who's feeling good, obviously here, okay? Let's rep out some push-ups. Remember that you don't really want your hands underneath your shoulders like this. You actually want your hands more near your lower ribs. So you have to work on shifting weight forward. It's a big inefficiency people do. When you're going for max push-ups, you don't want to use your front shoulders. You want to use, and you don't really want to use your tricep. You want to obviously have to use all those, but you want to use pec major as much as possible. It's your biggest, strongest upper front body muscle. So the more you can hug your hands down, the more that the pec major is going to be involved, okay? So notice that about yourself. Are you doing your press like this? Hands are going under the shoulders. Can you shift your chest forward so the hands slide more near like your lower ribs and you're pushing from down here more? Think about it. If say you're trying to push somebody away, would you do it like this? Or would you rather be down here? Or would you rather be here? You'll be stronger here, yogis, okay? And it's also gonna cause less pinching and stuff around the shoulders, okay? Nice job, take it down to the chest. So I'm gonna do my gentle cobras. See, we're breaking this all down, right? It's not like a flow class. Slide your hands near your lower ribs. Nice inhale. I'm starting in Cobra 1. I immediately feel my lower back tense. Okay? I pull my belly in, point the toes, engage my thighs, drive my pubic bone down. After that pause, I lower down, boom, right back up. So I'm not stretching just yet. I'm actually activating here. You feel good, you can reach your arms down by side. You feel great, you can bring your hands behind your back, intertwine your fingers. Keep your feet down, inhale. Roll your shoulders back. Straighten your arms. Exhale, soften the arms, lower down. Inhale. Last few. So we did something for your hamstrings and your glutes. Now we're in the lower back, okay? We did something for the upper back. That was the back fly and the rotation. That was pretty easy. The most active part of that was the horizontal abduction in the arms. So you're really getting your whole back body, maybe lacking some calves, mid back. All right. So listen, after you do your first set of the active extensions, I want you to take a stretch type cobra. So you are using your arms now. So you're going to press through your hands, activate your back still, but pull the chest forward and up, roll your shoulders back and down. So we call it full cobra or cobra 2. Some of us can go to up dog if you're ready. I'll be honest, I rarely do up dog. I just don't like the posture as much. I do it on like my best days. Because with straight arms and hips hovering, I can't activate my back as much in this extension. That's like saying let's put weight in my back, more weight in my back, but activate less quality. Okay, that's back to downward dog. All right, guys, so if you're just coming in, I wanted to try something today. So you might need to drop to your knees. I like to call it the slippery dog. If we can make any posture more unstable, it's gonna be way more core. If you can make the posture more difficult in a safe way, you're gonna grow faster, okay? So I'm gonna put the blanket. I'm on hardwood, so the blanket's slippery. If you're on carpet, you might need, I don't know, a plastic tray they use, a plastic bag might work. So watch this. My hands are on the blanket off of the mat. My toes are on the mat, I'm not coming down dog. So what happens, look, it wants to slide, right? So immediately I have to engage my core and squeeze my hands toward my feet. So we're gonna go down dog here, hold, with the slippery slide away. If you don't have the surface to do it, no big deal. Hold a down dog again. Just try to think of that energy I'm trying to get you to work on, squeezing your feet towards your hands. I went to a yoga teacher years back, a very unorthodox teacher, and we used to do this all the time, mainly like down dog and lunges, where you're holding a down dog, and you're not able to use these new sticky mats. Everyone in yoga is now like, oh, the better mats are stickier. Yeah, because you don't have to work as hard. In the advanced class, you'd think,
how can we find a slippery mat? Because you're good at the poses, but can you work better at these like hugging in energies? That's core. Does everyone feel that? The slippery dog. Okay, try one more time quick. Take a little break. And you got to slow down. You got to try to feel what we're doing and really tune into those muscles that you're not used to working in this posture. Hug your feet and hands toward each other, at least energetically or mentally. Okay, last few moments. Yeah, it's a very difficult pose. Just, don't fall out of this one. So the whole goal is to be on a slippery surface with your hands, like your hands are trying to slide forward. And that shows you that you're relying on that stickiness of the mat, okay? All right, looks like most of you look almost done here. Oh, a couple of you going back up, all right? Yeah, it's supposed to be difficult. Don't take it too seriously, all right?
All right, guys, let's keep going here now. So we're gonna meet back in tabletop. Take a little breather. Anytime you need a neutralizer, you kind of shake it out. So remember, this core, so we're doing some more subtle things. Last week we were doing this, right? And this. I want to do the simple version today. It's fantastic. Hands plant. I usually do this on an easier day. If I'm kind of taking an easy day of exercise, I take my tabletop, I hover my right shin. Think of a male dog urinating on the fire hydrant. Press your hands down equally and your left knee down. Hover it an inch after that pause, bring it out and up and hold. So from the side, yogis, does my leg go back? No. Goes right out to the side. Come on now.
We need a glute medius. We did a lateral body stretch. Now we need a lateral body strengthener. All right. So let me see you work here. If you're feeling super good, you could straighten your leg out to the side. So your right leg would go completely off to the side, straight, and you lift that right leg up straight. Remember, that's just more weight, a longer lever. Anytime weight it's just like you hold warrior 3, you reach your arms in front of you, it's gonna be more difficult because the weight's further out. If you straighten your leg out to the side, it'd be more difficult. It'll also be more restricted. If you wanna go crazy, you tuck your left toes and hover your left knee. All right,
so we do it like this too, guys. So we here, hovering knees, and you go out. My right knee's hovering. This is the straight leg version I showed. We got all regulars, right? I want you to know your stuff here. And then you pick one. The crazy version's right knee hovering, straight leg. But again, you might not get good muscle contraction because it's too stiff and tight. Switch sides when you're ready, please. I'm gonna get a little water here.
You're trying to feel your outer hip. Do not let your lower back arch just dump. That's key in any of these tables and planks. When legs start to move, they'll pull pelvis with it, which will take spine into movements. It's a very bad habit that we let our spine arch and round too much in certain spaces. Do we arch it and round it intentionally often? Yeah, all the time. But you don't want it happening beyond your awareness, because then you're not supporting it and it's most likely going to probably irritate. Okay, last few moments. I see a lot of you still going. 1 or 2 years are done. You know me, I like to do well-rounded exercise. I tend to exercise very balanced throughout my body regularly. I don't really do like too many specialty things. We'll do 5 sets of this, let's say. I want to hit all those muscles if I only get you once, twice a week, all right?
All right, guys. Let's slowly meet here. I see a lot of you are done. You pace yourself. Down dog. Let's walk our feet forward. Take a little first, bigger forward bend stretch after hitting the slippery dog
and the outer hip right from our lower back, tensing and cobras. Now we're in a nice forward bend, just kind of calming our nerves after 3 strenuous exercises. And now I'm remembering that I forgot something, but we'll get to it in a little while. All right, yogis. So when you're done here, let's slowly stand up. All right, so I want to go back to transverse abdomen training. Your main goal is to stand up tall, pull your lower belly in and up so much it cramps. Everything is hugging in, side bodies, lower back, abdomen, and it's skinnying. So you're practicing skinnying, arms up, palms face forward. Pull your belly in so much, lift up the chest, pull in the navel, lift the left knee. Pull in your belly more, lift the left knee higher. It should cramp around your abdomen because you're hugging in and squeezing. Put the left foot down, keep your belly in. The main goal is to keep the belly in and up. Right leg hover lifts, knee toward your chest. Try to relax your shoulders a little bit here, guys, and pull the knee up higher, pull the belly in more. Everything is cramping, you're doing it correct. Training transverse abdomen, okay? Everything is squeezing in. Right foot down, left leg lifts again. Pulling in the navel. Yeah, don't round the spine too much, stand up tall. Okay, pull the belly in, that's your main goal. Okay, put that foot down, lift the other foot. It's about 3 times per side, that's it, right? So you guys got this. Come on, you got to get better at being okay, being uncomfortable. Training your body is not easy, all right? It takes willpower and mental strength and bravery. Okay, so you do your last side. It looks like you're going at your own pace. That's what I prefer if you can. Because if you're feeling good, you hold longer. If you're not feeling great, you hold less. That's why you have to do it on your own if you can. All right, guys, take a moment there, shake it out, give it one of these. That's one of the best exercises for skinnying your waistline. You see all these programs on YouTube. I've watched 20 of them, and most of them don't really give that good stuff. That transverse abdomen is number 1 muscle for skinny waist, okay? And when you're doing crunches or laterals, you don't really get that muscle. All right, let's go, squat kriya. I gotta get the legs weight bearing blasting. Arms forward. This is, over time, you've done 5, 10 squat kriyas with me. We've been breaking in this new one lately, okay? Arms forward, bend knees. It looks and sounds like this. Now, you can go deeper, but keep the muscles contracted. Come on now. You got to step into this moment, guys. You want strong legs. And you're really, if you read that book, The Fittest Book it's called, you know that you don't really gain muscular strength until it gets difficult. That's the main, you guys know the mRNA, there's also what's called reverse RNA. It's a message from your cells to your DNA and to your stem cells. It signals really, the more fierce and intense the demand, the more fierce the signal is. We need more muscle. Your cells, once your cells are screaming, your muscles are they're screaming at the stem cell. We need more muscles. We need more bone density, okay? The more you can train yourself to withstand the difficulty and remain, the faster you will get stronger, okay? So it's all mental. Nice job, guys. Get out of there. I want to do our lateral training now. I love this exercise because it's tension and compression. It's triple chain. Arms up, intertwine your fingers. Now, this is a double exhale. We just did Bhastrika again. Palms face up, you get a little outer wrist stretch. That's needed in yoga. You take the big inhale, you squeeze the butt and the thighs, you bring your weight in your heels. Double exhale. Inhale, reach up, pull the belly in, transverse. Continue. When I do this, I try to get to 20 per side. Now, that's a lot. You work towards 10. You don't want to overdo it. I do yoga every day. I'm just telling you what you work towards, because like I said, the more you basically do, the more change you're going to get. Yeah, you can relax your traps a little bit so we're not here. Your shoulders are kind of low from your ears. Nice. Yeah, you can do it with one hand. You know, you could just do if you need. We do this on one leg in advanced yoga. Just in case anyone's having a really good day. So you should feel stretch, right? And some obvious strength. So this is going to be our main bulk of like upright training. So we're going to do a few more things standing, and then it's going to be, we are going to do our slippery lunges here in a moment. And I want you to know we're not doing too much standing stuff today. So stay focused. Looks like most of you are done. All right. So listen, guys, I want to do our slippery lunge today. Now, some of you might not have the capability based on your, floor, but you're going to need something slippery. Okay. My favorite way to do this is just to put on a sock. So if I put on a sock here, that's going to be my easiest way to do this, or a towel. So what I'm going to ask you to do today is make lunge core. If we hold lunge, I would say it's mediocre core at best. But if I put on a sock and I go like this, if you can't do this, how about you do it like this? You just step back and then you pull the leg forward. Okay? It's going to be a lot easier if you don't have a slippery, but inhale, exhale. Like I said, if you're on a rug, using something like a plastic tea tray here can work. But you're not alternating legs, right, yogis? You're sliding the leg forward, sliding it forward. We always just like hold lunges, and to work all that space, I have certain days where I do this. I don't do it enough, but a couple of days ago, I did a long sliding workout, and it's really phenomenal. We should be doing it more as a group if we want to optimize our chances at our best body. Okay. Last few, and then you can switch sides. Remember, you're brand new to this, first time, 6 reps. That's fine. You are signaling reverse RNA at 6 reps probably. But if you're doing 6, you slow down. You don't just get through them. All right. You're working towards 12, 15 reps, and then you switch sides. Notice one foot might be a lot weaker than the other, one psoas, hip flexor area. Okay. Let me see what it looks. Don't lean the chest too far, guys. Come on, keep good posture to the best of your ability. Nice, Dawn. Yeah, if you don't, some of you don't have the slippery surface, you're doing the step back with the knee down, that's totally fine. Try to feel the energy of like the pulling of the legs together. Okay, last few here. Does everyone feel that? Pretty good? This will make you sore though, so be aware. All right, I want to do lateral now. So we did what's called sagittal, and now this is coronal. So it's the same thing, right? Now, just to be clear, this is the main leg working. I bend the knee, I go right, I bring it in. If you don't have one, you go here. That's fine. But the pulling of the squeezing is going to really get those inner thighs too. Okay, a couple more. Remember, we're just going through a class. You don't have to catch up with me as some of us were still doing your lunges, it looked like. But then you can go right into it, right? Okay, don't round, still try to stand up tall. Your knees are bent slightly. And most of your weight's in your standing balancing leg, okay? Yeah, and if you don't have a slippery surface, nice, that's it. But still try to feel, the abduction, which is like your inner thighs squeezing together as you bring the legs closer together. Remember, the Russians in the Olympics, I love this story about how the Russians would take an hour a day just to sit in a room and visualize their body's training more, because you can only train the physical body so much. Like say you're an Olympian, right? So what would they do? They do the mental training, and they still found signaling in the muscles, right? So if you just close your eyes and you picture it and you picture feeling it, you're still going to get a lot of that similar reactions in the body, mind practice, right? Second side when you're ready, guys. Sliders are a great investment. You get them on Amazon, they're like $5. Or, you get fancy ones, they're like 10 or 15 bucks. And we have a couple pairs here. We actually have one for hardwood and one for the rug. And they're great. If you're looking for a little tool to add to your practices more, you can do plank stuff, you can do leg sliders, you can do on your back, the bridges, a lot of complex ways. I do want to do one more last standing slider. It's kind of like the complex one, which is kind of like saying putting them all together. Now, if you want to be really detailed, you take a block, okay? And I'm going to put my sock on again so you can see it just clearer, because the blanket can be distracting. Okay, so now we're going to go here. Okay, and I'm going to bring my leg forward, around, through. Remember, it's this leg that's stabilizing. So this is part of our balance work today, yogis. So I'm going back, wide, here. Okay, you see this? Now really feel it, like go slow, see this? And then you reverse directions. And the wider you bring the block, the better. But still go way back. Feel your it's more of the standing leg working, okay? It's stabilizing as weight is like shifting and moving, because you're activating a lot of muscles to all angles, and it's gonna wanna kind of pull your body, but it's all like core stabilizing. I remember in that Balances Power book, it said anything that you're adding more balance to is like more full body and more core, okay? So it shouldn't be like too difficult, but it might be, it depends on where you're at in your balance. I say it's not difficult, but I train balance like a crazy person. So my balance is often thought to be really good. Okay, make sure you go both directions. I don't want you to slow it down. I want to see that leg whipping around. That's why I have you go up into movements, hold up there, and then you slowly release. So you're making sure you're getting that quality muscular firing. Too often I see people like flaring legs out. Don't get me wrong, fast movements are good sometimes for sure, right? Depends on your intention. Okay, so make sure you do your second side now. Looks like some of you are already there. Standing leg, you're centered kind of over it. There's a little bit of tiny weight in that other leg. So left leg here. Gotta stand up tall, pull the belly in. Nice, everyone. You guys done already? Remember that phasic training, like the squat kriya we just did, and the lateral bending. It's these big all muscles have tonic and phasic. Some are more postural muscles, tonic. Some are more phasic, your glutes. When you're doing phasic exercise, squats is my favorite. It's just the best strength building exercise, probably that or deadlift. And you're building a lot of like these big muscle fibers for forceful movements, like standing up, sitting down, running, jumping. But the tonic is all these little fires, that are like everything is firing around the edges of the muscle, let's call it, but they're your balancers, stabilizers. So we got to make sure we're doing both, all right? Let's keep going, guys. We're here at the end of our standing exercise. So nice job if you're sliding. That was 3 in a row. Our 4th slippery exercise of class. I'm hoping to get one more in here. Warrior 3. Don't forget that this is actually classified as a hamstring. You go to a physical therapist, a rehab specialist, they'll say, I don't want you to stretch your hamstrings like this. They'll say, I want you to do it like this. Okay? Inhale. Exhale. And then you go slow. You could go fuller range. Inhale.
Exhale and train your transverse abdomen one more time, pulling that belly in. Okay, then you inhale again. Try to keep weight in your big toe, feel the tension. The standing leg is more of the working leg, but both are working here. So you're on that same leg here, guys. Keep it going.
All right, let's do our second side. You know, there's not a perfect number. I'd like you to get into that challenge and work a few more in where it's challenging. If we have the habit of releasing, stopping every time there's a little difficulty, you'll wonder why your growth is slow. Strong mind when it gets difficult. Yeah, just notice if you're lifting that right hip. This is a very linear exercise. We just came from that dynamic sliding. So this one's very structured, you know, kind of like, you know, a very sound form engagement after a very like awkward space. I've talked about that a lot. Nice. Yeah. I mean, some of this, you know, people in the gym, they do this with a weight, right? They'll hold a kettlebell or a dumbbell or a bar, and you have it in your arms and it just hangs and creates more tension. You can always use those in this class. You know, I've taught a few of those yoga sculpts where we added weights to all of our exercises in the past. All right, guys. So listen, that's about, you know, we did 20 minutes on the floor earlier, about 20 minutes standing. So that's going to be pretty good for standing yoga. If you want to do anything else, like a straddle or something, we're going to do a move like that. But if you want to do any last little movement standing, do it now. Because the remainder of class is going to be on our back. All right, pretty much. So how about we do a quick sun salutation, kind of reset. You'll take your time and reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. High plank, low plank. Remember, I do a little less for arms here, guys. So if you need extra push-ups, do them again. Either down dog or child pose. And now we'll meet, seated position, swing our legs around. All right, guys, so we're gonna go for the core work now. We're gonna do the bicycle today. I want you to be extra careful here and not to be too jerky. So I don't wanna see it like this. Okay, we're gonna go here, either starting here, We're gonna exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. We're gonna go right for twisting the starting today. I haven't done too many twists. We didn't really do much standing, all right? So you're gonna lay on your back, easier is here. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale. You know, we've done this standing. We actually do this sometimes in plank as well, right? So we're doing it's a slow, it's movement, but it's just slowing you down enough so you don't jerk the body. This is often talked about in fitness, how it's, you know, a lot of people don't like this exercise, right? Because it is dangerous when you start to go crazy flying here. If you can go slower and make sure the contractions are quality, it is much safer. Again, you don't have to do too many, all right? If you're new to this stuff and you haven't been doing your core enough, this is a tough one. Now listen, what I want you to do now is hold your right elbow to your left knee. Hold your right elbow to your left knee, your right leg is forward. And then you pulse your right elbow toward your left knee. So a little pulse here, okay? Little pulse, little pulse. Remember last week we didn't really do like too much twisting abs, okay? So we're getting into it. We're pulsing, pulse, pulse. This is gonna burn, this is gonna sting. You're gonna have to quit probably, okay? And then we do our second side, left elbow, right knee, left leg goes forward, right knee is bent to the chest, left elbow, right knee. Now pulse your chest, your elbow toward the right knee, but also try to pulse your right shoulder up. You hear that? Pulse your right shoulder up slightly so you're not jamming into the twist. You are kind of crunching a little up. It's a micro twist. Keep pulsing. Come on now, pulse, 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 pulse. You're going to feel it. Pulse. I do want to save time for extra bridges today, okay? You guys feel that pretty good? All right, so let's bring our knees into our chest. There's your first core exercise. And I do want to do our first just static bridge. If you're feeling really good and you want to do up table, wheel, or reverse plank, you can. We're gonna do one-legged bridges in a moment here for the glutes. So bridge pose, feet down, hips lift, block between the thighs is always great if you have one. And you know what to do. You work on pressing your big toe and heels down, pulling your heels toward your shoulders, lengthening your core, posterior tilt, tucking the tailbone between your legs up, between the legs, kind of lengthening the abdomen, right? Forget to add stronger poses. So we're going to go for another, 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're going to be, you take a few stretches, okay? When you're done here, let's lower down. So we'll meet with our knees into our chest. So it's kind of just like a vinyasa. We did forward bends with twist, and we just did a symmetrical back bend, right? So here we go. Let's slowly bring our knees into our chest. Take a moment there if you need, neutralize any tensions. So now it's a symmetrical core exercise, but it's an abduction adduction. So it's like lateral, a little extra focus on inner thighs today. Whereas a lot of times in yoga, side plank, half moons, we're getting the outer hips more than the inner thighs sometimes. A little inner thigh work today. Okay. So legs straight up to the sky. You're on your back. Reach your arms beyond your ears. Okay. So you're here. Big inhale. Exhale. Widen your feet. Widen your legs. Crunch between the legs. Squeeze the legs back together. Inhale. They call this reclining dog. Same pose, right? Exhale. Inhale. But look I don't lower all the way down. About 80%. Exhale. Go ahead. You can do it with your knees bent if it's a little too much. You can also just kind of widen your knees and do the crunch. And then when you're done with crunches, kind of widen and close your knee. So you can break it down into two parts, just doing your leg movement, just doing your little crunches, extension crunches. Your arms reach back and then forward. Remember that a crunch, a healthier crunch, we're not reaching forward, crunching the body. If I say that, it's a mistake, right? You're reaching upward more. You're lifting the chest up more so than just forward. So you're not going forward, you're going up at the angle, a little bit forward. Does everyone get that? Nice. Okay, looks like some of you are done. Take a little breather when you're done there. You just do your best, Okay, so here we go. Now we're gonna do second round of the bridge. And we're gonna do one-legged bridge. So I wanna do left foot down first today. So get set up for bridge, no block right now. Walk your left foot to the right, inch, 2, 3 maybe. So your left foot's more centered in your mat. Now, right knee into the chest. If you want more, right leg to the sky, straighten your right leg at the knee and flex your right foot, active reciprocal inhibition. Now press through your left big toe, left heel, and drive through that foot and lift the hips up. Okay, so single leg bridge. Now listen, lower down, only about halfway, 3/4. Inhale, exhale, lift back up, a one-legged bridge, thrust. Okay, so yeah, inhale halfway down, exhale back up, please, and continue. Go for it. Work your butt. Now, if it's easy, you want to do up table on one leg. We've done that a lot. So you sit up and you put your arms behind you and you do the same exact exercise. It will be more challenging. Okay. And then After you get that butt firing on the left side, you shake it out for a moment because I want that right side done well also. Okay. And then you're going to do your second side of your butt thrust here. Remember that this is one of the best ways, simple ways to really strengthen your butt. You guys, you can do this every day. You do not need a day off. Maybe you should take a day off if you're not feeling well, you slept horrible, you're hungover or something, but you can do this every day. You do this every day for a month, your butt is going to be so different, way different, tighter, more shaped. It's going to help your psoas release. It's so good. You can do this one every day. All right. So it looks like a couple of these are still going. I'll give you another moment. So we just did lateral movements of the leg. It's called horizontal abduction, adduction. I mentioned those in the arms. That's a certain range of motion, right? Horizontal ad, horizontal ab. Legs just did it too. So now we're going to go double leg swing and reverse crunch. You remember, this is considered top EMG chart. I try to get this in most classes. I'm going to do 2 more core exercises. All right. One more set of the bridges. So third round next. So this is a big core exercise. So shake it out when you're done. So it's front body. It's opposite muscle group. It should be all right. Just train slow, right? So easier. Lower back is our main objective. Remember, I keep saying don't let your back arch when your legs move. Same here. Lower back down. You're going to inhale, legs forward, slightly down, legs up. That's easier, okay? You want more, hover your head. Inhale, legs slowly. Watch here. If you want a lot, you inhale your legs forward. Watch the pelvis, the little tuck of the tailbone. But try to feel it come from your lower abs and not, you're not rocking in momentum. Hands can go behind the head for a little support. If you want more, legs straight. It's just a longer lever. Do my legs swing up over my body, or do they go to the sky? Do my legs go up over the body? No, they go straight up. Last few. Some of you, you're coming to this class not every week. So remember, some weeks we don't do nearly this much like abs, but we're getting a heavy dose this week. All right. Remember, momentum is not a muscle. You can use momentum functionally in some ways. If I'm getting tired, say I'm doing like a tricep extension, I will rock it up, but then I'll try to resist it back in the end when I'm tired. Say I'm doing a shoulder abduction and I'm getting tired, I will swing the weight up, but then I'll hold it and resist it down. So you can use momentum functionally sometimes, but I tend to see most people are just kind of not using it functionally. So just notice the difference. All right, guys, we got our final bridges here, and then we'll do our final closing lighter abdominal exercise. I want you to try the sliding bridge today. Your socks, if you don't have sliders, that's okay. Just do your bridges. You can do bridge walk forwards too. So if you don't have sliders, it looks like this. Bridge, left foot forward, left foot back, right foot forward, right foot back. That's kind of the best you can do. If you're going to try it, I want you to work this, guys. The average person's hamstrings are really weak. Yoga people, really weak hamstrings in the knee flexion action. So it looks like this. I lift my hips. Now remember, middle ground is one-legged. My right foot's on the floor, my left foot's on my slider. I inhale, squeeze it back. Inhale, all the while hips are lifted. Most of us, I think, could try it. Feet about hips with this, and just notice as my legs go forward, my toes start to face to the sky. I breathe like that so you can hear me. I inhale forward, I exhale back. That's our final back line exercise, yogis. Right, we did our lower back well. We did the outer hips, the posterior hips, now the hamstrings. Okay, connecting all those things that are going to stabilize the backside body. Did transverse abdomen, obliques, rectus abdominis on both angles. We did adductors. This is a tough one. Try not to, slower movements. And I do some of these fast too, though. Like we're all, but I slow is kind of first. You guys feel that in those hamstrings? You guys feel that in the back of the legs, back of the thighs? It's really tough at first, this one, okay? And I want you to notice you feel in your lower back. That's normal because hamstrings are superficial back line. Look up your superficial back line on Google. You'll see a muscular diagram picture of the human body in the back, and you'll see your lower back arch muscles. There's a thin line of tendons that run straight to the hamstring connection point. All right, and so your hamstrings connect to your lower back. You strengthen those hamstrings, we're strengthening your lower back. Okay, nice job there, guys. So our last little core exercise, we will be stretching after this, is one of my favorites. I want to start doing this almost every week. The block between the thighs, the arms go wide. The inhale brings your knees over to the side. The exhale brings your knees center. The inhale goes to the side. Now you pause, you roll your opposite ribs down. Not too much twist today, so we're doing them here in the end on our back. We did the micro twist, the complex double side, the pulsing micro, and then the big full transverse twist. Okay? If it's easy, block between the feet, high up legs. Sometimes I'll do this, kind of a little strong movement in the range. I did this 2 days ago and I can feel it. You want to try to do any exercise in a way that gets you the best muscle firing. So that's why I tend to say slow down, but can you do it fast and get really good muscle firing? Yeah. It's probably more difficult for the average person because you might be kind of getting a jerky momentum movement. So when I was in the end of this, I think I did 2 or 3 sets 2 days ago. I did go fast because that's another type of muscular control. It is way more risky for injury or like bad soreness. Okay. So good soreness versus bad soreness, right? They're not all the same. So that's the final exercise there for our core. Another one, man, you could do regularly. It'll really change the fitness of your abdomen because it's obliques, transverse abdomen, lower back, and rectus abdominis. All right. So listen, guys, I want to take a few stretches now just to end class. I'm thinking rotational. If there's other things that you want to do, that's fine. Figure 4, Gomukhasana pigeon might be a nice start here. Because we did like a lot of glutes, right? Did a lot of outer hips. It'll also hit your hamstring, the figure 4. So right ankle atop your left knee, thread the needle. Take your time, still doing a few more things, right? And you just close your eyes and relax. Take a few deep breaths. And you can take this right into the medial. So if your right ankle's atop your left knee, you place your left foot on the floor, walk it off to your mat. Remember, both knees are still bent in figure 4. You slide your right foot on your outer left knee and your knees knock right. In case you need the demo, you were here. Left foot down, over to the left, right foot on outer knee, knees knock right. Stretches on left hip, flex both feet. And then we'll do our second side of our figure 4. And, it's all regulars today. So you hold stretches that you need longer. The second part is the medial. So that first part, the figure 4, is for your left hip, if your left ankle is above your right knee. And now as I let my knees knock left, my right knee turns inward from the right hip. That is a right hip stretch. So I always say lateral and medial, and that might confuse people. That's the technical term I learned from the anatomists I learned under, and it's real, it's commonly said internal, external. So figure 4 is an external rotation for your left hip, whereas the knees knocking left in that first side would be an internal rotation for your right hip. Remember that rotational muscles are considered stabilizers for your hips and your shoulder. Your delts are not really stabilizers. It's your deep rotator cuff, right? So if your hips feel really stiff, like locked, rotators, that's what locks the movement of the joint or stabilizes it or over stabilizes it. So I tend to stick there. So listen, guys, if you got time for another stretch here, if you want to do a quad stretch, you could roll into your side. We didn't do too much thighs today, but if you want to roll into your side and reach back, grab a foot. If you want to do a spinal twist or a plow or an inversion, I'm going to give you a minute here to do one more kind of pose of choice, a stretch, depending on what you're feeling. Plow, put a block under your butt or your chest. What's one more thing that feels good to you this morning? More of a release pose, please, unless you're doing a headstand or a shoulder stand. Yeah, not too much inversions, not too much arms today, right? But the science is pretty clear. We want to train the legs and the core more, and arms, unfortunately, do come last. But we don't want to think of it too much like that, but just hammer home that idea of legs are first, okay? So, some of these are still going. Don't forget, you can just take your Shavasana on your own whenever you're done. It's always good to extend your practice 15 minutes. We didn't do too much stretching today. More dynamic releases. So we'll do a closing meditation whenever you're ready. Even if it's just a few minutes, remember that strenuous exercise does produce a lot of acid and inflammation. It's called the exercise paradox. It's fascinating if you want to look it up, how the exercise is so terrible for you in many ways in the short term, and so fantastic for you in so many ways in the long term. Exercise paradox, it's really awesome. And they keep uncovering more paradoxes within that term. So let's take our closing meditation. And what we do is create the alkaline response, the anti-inflammatory, by calming, centering, and grounding the mind, body, and breath. Okay. So final pose here together, closing meditation.